Hello traders, this is Rich from Tradesight. This is our market preview for the coming session. This is going to be for Thursday, October 3rd, 2013. Kind of a sloppy day today where we recovered a pretty substantial gap down, at least partially, for most of the sides here. So today we're going to give the price action kind of a just a C rating, an average rating. Mostly because even though we were down, we did close above the open, so it didn't really qualify for a poor rating. The only side that was kind of sloppy was the Dow side, but we'll take a look at that chart in a little bit here. Internally, the market was also just fairly average. Probably bump this down to a C minus. We had negative advanced declines on both sides, and the New York Stock Exchange trend closed very low at 0.59, but didn't really do anything to get prices higher on the day. So with the trend being as low as it was, that's why we're going to downgrade that to a C minus, because that's going to affect the 10-day average negatively, at least from the bull perspective. All right, here's the ES candle for the day. You can see that we definitely did use the 50 DMA again today. So we're still gaming that. We didn't take out yesterday's high by any stretch. We did just about reach up and fill the gap, but not quite. The one thing that was a little bit negative here is we did take out the day's low, but we were able to recover it intraday. The small positive here, though, is that we did close above the open, even though we were lower on the day overall. Resistance overhead is going to be previous day's high at 1692.5. Key support remains here at the 50 DMA at 1676, 1675. The NQ futures were essentially inside the previous day. We did run up to test the previous high, but we're not able to take that out. So today's just kind of a nothing inside day, which is actually fine after breaking out, as long as we close above the day's open, which we did. We're still stacked positively here with the moving averages. We're above all three majors. Key resistance obviously is going to be this multi-day high right here at about 3251.5. Key supports can be found first at the 10 EMA, and then at 3203, which is the 5/8 level on your Murray math box. Moving over to the Dow. Dow Industrials were lower on the day after having kind of a sloppy day where there was some acute weakness in a few of the members. One notable fact here, though, is that we are now 9 days down on the count, so we've got that to work off of with a potential pivot to the upside. So upside targets are going to be previous day's high at 15,208.5, and then the 50 DMA comes in and converges with the 10 EMA, which is going to be your next resistance about 15,266. Support's going to be the day's low, 15,045, and then bigger, much more important support at 1,500, which is the 4/8 level on the Murray math box. All right, here's an update and a check-in to the S&P versus the BKX. The banks have been relatively weak. The BKX is the blue line here. We had this little bit of outperformance, but now you can see that we're definitely starting to underperform here. We're using this key area here for support. If we do break down here, that's going to be your lower low, and that'll qualify this lower high here. So we don't have that just yet, but that would definitely be a key development for the overall market. Here's a look at the 10-day trend. The 10-day trend got a knock today from the very low reading in the ratio, so that pulled it down. So the bulls don't have that oversold reading just yet at 1.35. So it's that was one of the little negatives that was kind of inside the market today that a lot of people are going to miss. Looking at the individual sectors, really nothing today really moved the needle too much. We'll take a look at the individual. The whole list, but for now, from the multi-day chart, you can see that we didn't do too much here as far as the major sectors. All right, so here's a look at the individual sectors ranked from best to worst. Top gun was the oil services index, which is very welcome to see at this point in the stage. So that was definitely a positive performance. What you also want to see is you want to take a look and see where the transports are, and you can see the transports kind of far down the list here. They actually underperformed the broad market here by a little bit, so that was not something that the bulls really want to point to. So we just have to see if we can keep that fairly positive. Definitely like to see them come on tomorrow. That's the transports with a little better strength, since they were fairly low down the list today. Definitely the things that were real weak today. The BTK was fairly weak, but the broker-dealer index was very weak. And that's definitely something that I think has a little bit to do with the news out of Washington, and definitely influences what's going to be going on in the banking index, the BKX. BKX was pretty flat on the day, so after some good volatility, they really didn't wind up doing too much. A couple of the banks had some very strong bounces intraday. JP Morgan had a huge run up intraday before pulling back a bit off the high. There's a BKX, and you see it's just kind of trading water here, still in this little range, supported by this active static trend line. So that's your level to watch to the downside. To the upside, the 10 EMA was used today, and that will remain a key resistance area. Here's a look at the oil services, which were top gun on the day, trying to pivot through here and get back up to the old high. This old high water mark is going to be key resistance at about 279. If we break out of that, this 8-ace level at 20 at 281 is going to be real important. We are above all three major moving averages, so we do have that positive feature for the OSX. If we do break to the downside, and this turns out to be a lower high, this 4-ace level is going to be very strong because it also coincides with the 50 DMA there. Take a look at the transports. Transports basically had an inside day today. They were lower on the day, but still has some fairly positive construction. We did manage to hold above the 10 EMA on a closing basis, which is always positive. And here's the broker dealers. XBD is 9 days down now, so we're looking for perhaps a little bit of a sideways movement or a little curl up to the upside here. Wouldn't be surprised to see that 8-ace level pull the market to that area at least. So definitely don't pass on all longs in the broker-dealer index, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley's, and whatnot. All right, here's a look at the gold futures. The gold futures had a very weak day yesterday. Broke down and settled kind of just above this this consolidation area here, this support area. Today we kind of basically just raced right back up to the 10 EMA. So we're kind of back into this range. It's been a little bit of a frustrating trade, just kind of leaking to the downside, but we just basically pulled back to the upside here. Dollar index has been very weak the last 3 days. I think that's finally influencing things. Usually they're going to trade in opposite directions, but today we did finally get a little bit of a movement here to more of the typical relationship between the two. Here's the oil futures. And the oil futures had a pretty strong day, got back up above the 10 EMA, so this is potential short-term trend changer. So definitely mark off the high the previous day here for a possible pivot to the upside. And don't forget the OIH index is just off its highs. So those are definitely some things to be focusing on for the coming session. All right, folks, as always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for Tradesight.